Hi folks, Bob Krebs, Sales Manager with Pure Pursuit Automotive, here this evening with our newest acquisition, this beautiful 2014 Porsche Cayman. This is an absolutely beautiful black car, mild deep black paint, Porsche emblem on there says it all. This is a 2.7 liter, 275 horsepower vehicle. It has a 6-speed manual transmission, and this, my folks, is a wonderful, wonderful car. I'm going to talk about the trunk up here, which is euphemistically called a frunk, which means a front trunk. The engine's in the rear, so you do actually have a lot of space up here. I did some measurements this afternoon and found that 2 suitcases that are regulation airline size will fit in here side by side with no problem. Okay, we've got our high intensity headlights up here. We've got front and back vented disc brakes, as well as the 18-inch alloy wheels, aluminum. Again, this beautiful black color is just, it's magnificent. So shiny. So perfect for this vehicle. And accenting that black is the interior here. You've got your leather, and of course you've got the entire interior here with the black and the aluminum accents, which we'll get to when we talk about the interior cockpit here in just a minute. From the back here, you got your LED taillights as well. Large visibility taillights, really super the way that they have put these things into the car aerodynamically. Got the back area here, which has the hatch that opens up. Got a lot of storage space back here. This is a mid-engine car, which means the engine is right here. So we won't be able to show you the engine during these because there's about 23 different screws and a bit of a procedure to be able to open the engine compartment. However, to be able to get to the oil and the fluids portion of it, you can do that from back here. You can see you can add oil to this side and check it back here. And you can also add water to the radiator here, which is on this side. So you've got your fluids that are most likely to be checked on, necessary to be checked on and refilled here. You got some storage space up here with some flexible netting. You've also got 2 large storage areas from on this side and on this side, which are really deep. So for storing whatever you probably can get in there. You've also got your speakers back here on both sides. In this area, you can put a couple of rucksacks back here. This is a fully functional spoiler back here that comes up automatically at 70 miles per hour. However, you can operate it manually. There's a switch inside we'll get to when we're describing the cockpit of the car. And you've got your single exhaust back here, which I think is really cool that they brought it from a dual exhaust to a single exhaust for the this particular model of Cayman. So it is warmed up, so we'll go ahead and start it up so you get an idea what this thing sounds like, and then we're going to take it out for my favorite part, a test drive. To give you a little bit of an idea about the cockpit and the arrangements, first of all, it's kind of tight in here, but it's supposed to be. The vehicle is only a 2-seater with the engine and the mid-engine in the rear, so I'm 6'5", but I'm comfortable here. So I'm sure you can be as well. Just to give you kind of an idea, again, everything is really ergonomically right here, very close, easy to get to, all over the interior of the cockpit. I always keep my headlights on automatic, so that way you don't ever have to touch them again, basically. They have all the amenities of pretty much every other vehicle of its class have, which are the power windows. Well, you've only got 2 here. And of course the power mirrors you can control from either side. And then of course you have your vents here that go from 2 on this side and 2 on this side for your air conditioning and controlling that. And of course the regulating the airflow through those as well. The instrumentation here in the center, you go from the left is your speedometer. Center's tachometer, where it measures the RPMs of the engine. And then of course you've got a readout gauge on the right side here that gives you a lot of different information if you so choose. You can go through several different things: the trip, odometer, the speed, the average speed of the car, the current air in each of the tires, all of the readings on the vehicle, such as the temperature of the engine, the oil temperature, how many PSI, and of course you've got your radio stations, and as well as the current time and temperature outside the vehicle. So again, always to me critical information to have at all times. And of course in the center of the tachometer gives you your readout for your miles per hour as well. So the steering wheel, just perfect. You got your larger grips here at 10 and 2 position, which is your prime driving position for the car. Easily gripped, wide enough, kind of meaty to hang on to. And you've got your controls on the left side for your parking signals, for your cruise control, for your windshield wipers, and of course for your control here for all the information you have in there in the center. Moving to the center console of the vehicle here, you got the information center, and of course up here you have the lock on the outside of the doors here, so that's in a little bit different place. You got your hazards here, in case you need to utilize those. And then in the center here, you've got this information center. Again, right now it's on radio, so that you can choose different types of radio stations that you like. And you can go from FM to AM to your phone settings to be able to set your phone up here as well, and that's really easily done, to your CD, and then at that point in time you can put your CD in. It's got your track list, whether you want to repeat it, shuffle, start, whatever, and your satellite as well. So that way if you are subscribing to a satellite service, which in this case this vehicle isn't currently, but you can certainly do that, you'll be able to get Sirius radio. Over here on the left you've got your tones and for the radio that you're setting up for your sound, your bass, your treble, etc., etc. You can set that at whatever level you want to. And then down from the information center, we've got the climate control system here, which is you've got your heat and your cool. In this case, we got the air conditioning on. Low is 60 degrees, and of course you can go up from there to whatever you so desire. It's also got the same controls on the right side here, so that the person who's in the right seat can control their particular heat or cool that comes out. Then on both sides you have the seat heater. You got high, medium, and low on the seat heater. Same thing on this side. For the passenger, you got the high, medium, and low on the seat heater. Fantastic to have in the winter, or just on one of those cool days that you decide that you'd like to have the seats heated up for you. Manual transmission, real easy here, the H pattern with reverse all the way over to the left. Okay, we come down here and we've got several different settings for the Cayman as well, and you've got the sport setting here, which essentially causes the vehicle to set itself to different drive pattern, and that's if you're going to be going, let's say, maybe even a little bit of track driving, or on some hilly areas, and certainly if you've got some turns and whatnot, you're going to want that in sport mode. That makes the driving a lot easier, more swifter, and a lot more nimble. Then of course you've got this setting here for the vehicle, which is a skid control, and this is basically keeps you from the vehicle getting out of control on slick surfaces or snow or mud or ice, things like that. So you can have that on or off as you so desire. Over here we have the auto stop and start feature here, so that when the clutch is in and you're pulling up to a stop, since it is a manual and not an automatic, it will then shut the engine off automatically, so it saves fuel and economy. That typically is on a lot of sport luxury vehicles, but they are automatic, so it's a little easier done. In this case also, this is the spoiler, the rear spoiler, the control for that, and you can turn it on by pressing it in and holding it, and this indicates that it is up. Or to put it down, you press it and hold that down, and when that light goes off, it indicates that the vehicle is, the spoiler's down. So real simple. You got a little bit of a storage space here. You got some storage space in the center here also, that you can put some glasses, sunglasses, or a telephone if you want. It better be a thin one because there's not a lot of space here. You got the transaxle underneath this car. So, and of course up here for your garage doors, it's got 3 different settings to program to pull this thing in your garage door, and you got some overhead lighting here as well, kind of like airplane lighting for when the driver or the passenger decides that they need something to read. You say, well gosh, where do I put beverages in this vehicle? That's very simple. We have a little area right here that's got a nice piece of metal contrast to it. Depress that, and you've got a couple of drink holders that pop out here. And that way you can put your drinks in these and set them for whatever size that you want for those drinks. So that way you don't spill your drinks and you don't have to hold them in your lap. So that's pretty simple. And of course you got your glove compartment here that you've got your manuals and anything else you might like to store. So, all right, well the vehicle's ready to go. Let's take this thing out for a test drive. Let's go ahead and take this thing out and run it through its paces. Go ahead and make sure we check out through the mirrors in the back there first. Back out of here and away we go. This thing is so nimble and handles so well. It's magic. It's a 6-speed, so it's just, oh my gosh, it's got such range to it. I've been in a lot of Porsches, but and people talk about their 911s and everything else. This Cayman is perfectly suited to exactly what I'm looking for. So really happy with it. I love this car, and so is everyone else. So first of all, we'll give you a little bit of an idea what the acceleration is like. We'll go ahead and find a straightaway up here and take her out for just a bit so you have an idea what this thing does. So again, you got a lot more space in this car than people think, and it's got a lot of room for a lot of adventure. And so here we go. Let's take this thing out and see what she'll do. So hang on to your hats. Mover, yes it is. And again, so nimble. The turns, going into these turns, coming out of turns, just absolutely amazing. This thing corners like you wouldn't believe. When driving through turns, what I've found, and it might sound a little bit funny, but this thing literally takes turns and grabs corners and has the grip of a lemur. I mean, it's just amazing how much the car hugs the road. And of course, just touching the steering wheel just a little bit, and you've got total control of wherever you're going on this car. So it's pretty amazing. I'll try to give you a little bit of an idea of what I'm talking about as far as the corners go, and kind of the elan that this car has. So a couple of things while we're sitting here waiting on the light. The vehicle has approximately 44% aluminum components in it, which means that the vehicle is about 3,000 pounds, which is super, super, super light for one of these vehicles. Tight steering, again, very nimble. To tell you the truth, it's kind of like being in a portable amusement park for me as far as I'm concerned. So I'm going to go ahead and switch lanes here also, just to kind of give you an idea. This thing definitely moves, doesn't pull too hard. It's got excellent, excellent maneuverability, whether you're going forward or into turns. The speed ratios on this thing are absolutely amazing. Going through all the gears, you're going to find comfort in every single gear that you're in. I want to give you a little bit of an idea of what this thing does through some of the turns up here. We'll go ahead and go through some of these turns going through the gears here, just so you have a general idea what this thing's capable of. Just amazing, absolutely amazing. And you can imagine what this thing would do on a track. It's just simply amazing. As I said, I've been in a lot of Porsches before, but this one has got such handling capabilities. It's just unbelievable. Very easy to drive. And not only that, but I mean, just driving it, listening to the stereo in it, enjoying the drive and the ride itself are just, it's just an amazing ride. I found that this vehicle is, just the colors on it. I mean, I used to say to myself, I was kind of like Henry Ford, you can have any color you want as long as it's black, but I'm kind of hooked on black in cars. I've owned a lot of black cars in my life, and to me, when they're clean, when they're buffed out, when they're polished, a black car has a look like none other. So it reflects so many different colors. It has such a look to it. It's got kind of a mean look to it. At the same time, it's got a look of speed as far as I'm concerned. So, and this car has it in spades, pun intended. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and take it up this hill here as well, so you have a little bit of an idea of switching through the gears and some hills and turns. And you can do that all day long, all night long. This is one fantastic car, and you're going to love it in your driveway. Okay, got one kind of final hill to go over here. So as we kind of wind down the test drive on this thing tonight, I just want to say one more thing again. This car is an absolute dream to drive. It's fast, it's sporty, it's nimble. It's got everything imaginable, from apex to apex. Driving this thing, shifting the gears, it's like butter. It just goes into the gears so easily. There's nothing to it. So come on down, give me a call, whatever's easiest for you. We're at 1619 Walnut, very easy to get to. Or if you give me a call at area code 816-659-3027, I can put you in a test drive in this vehicle today, tomorrow, or anytime you wish. But you better do it soon because it's going to go fast. So thanks for riding with me tonight.